Fishing can be tricky to master in Stardew Valley, so if you want to learn how it works and get lots of tips, you've found the right video because we're about to deep dive into it. This first part is about the minigame you have to play to catch the fish. I'm going to be sharing some tips for those who are absolute beginners or who really struggle with fishing. If you're already decent at the minigame, feel free to skip ahead to the next section. This is what the fishing game looks like. At the bottom you'll see the little green fish icon, and behind it you'll see the green bar that we're going to call the fishing bar. On the right we're going to call the orange part the progress bar. The aim of the game is to keep the fishing bar level with the fish icon until the progress bar goes all the way to the top. To raise the bar, you left click on your mouse or press the appropriate button on your controller, and to lower the bar you let go of that button. There are many different fish in Stardew Valley. Some of them will make it easy for you and stay relatively in one place, but the harder the fish, the more they'll move around. If the fish icon is hovering in the middle and you want to keep the green fishing bar behind it, do quick taps on your mouse or controller to keep it hovering behind the fish. I'll show you an example of this, but I've slowed it down to make it easier to see. If the fish icon is at the top, all you need to do to keep the fishing bar at the top too is to press and hold, just like this. If the fish icon has returned to the bottom, this can be a bit trickier to master, but what you need to do is let the bar fall, and as it falls down to the bottom, press and hold the button and let go just as it reaches the bottom. If you get this right, the bar won't bounce on the bottom. But if you mistime it, that's okay. Even if you tried, you should still be able to reduce the number of bounces at the bottom, like this. Finally, if you need to lower the fishing bar but not all the way to the bottom, so if the fish icon is hovering somewhere in the middle but you are up higher, you need to press and hold as the bar falls but before it reaches the fish, and keep holding until it is hovering over the fish, then let go and do your quick taps. You've probably heard this before, but it's very true. The most important thing you can do to get better at the fishing minigame is to practice. So remember these techniques and try them out for yourself. Alright, now that we're done with the minigame tips, we're going to talk about everything else you need to know about fishing. First, some quick things about casting your line. You'll notice that there's a progress bar when you're holding down the button to cast. Reaching this maximum casting distance does not actually have any special benefits. Instead, what you want to do is to let your line land in the deepest part of the water. So as far from your shore as possible, but not too close to any other shores either. And did you know that you can actually cast your line at a diagonal? The way to do this is to press to cast as normal, then while the progress bar for the distance fills, press a key for a different direction. That way you will combine those two directions into a diagonal. So for example, if you cast left, as you are holding the button, also press up or down on your keyboard. Or if you are casting down, you can also press left or right on your keyboard. A perfect catch is when you complete the minigame without the fish icon leaving your fishing bar even once. If you get a perfect catch, your fish will be better quality and you'll gain more fishing experience. Keep your eye out for bubble spots. If you cast your line so it lands in or next to a bubble spot, the fish there will bite 4 times faster, difficult to catch fish will be more likely to bite, and you will be less likely to catch trash. Note that some bubble spots will require you to do an angled cast to reach them, while others will be completely unreachable and are just there to taunt us, I guess. One important thing to note is that while time is paused while you play the fishing minigame, buffs will still wear out and you can still be attacked, so be careful in places like the secret woods. Increasing your fishing skill will give you some important benefits. Your fishing bar will increase, the distance you can cast your line to will increase, and the length of time it takes for a fish to bite will decrease. You also gain some useful crafting recipes, and Willy will begin to sell more gear at his shop. There are also some useful professions that you can choose at level 5 and level 10. Which ones you choose will depend on your playstyle, and so is completely up to you. You will sometimes come across a treasure chest that will appear in the minigame. It has a separate progression bar that is filled by keeping the fishing bar behind the chest icon as if it was a fish. You then need to catch the fish as normal, and once that is done, some random loot is given as well as the fish. If you lose the fish, you will also lose the treasure. I recommend getting the progress bar nearly to the top before you try to get the treasure chest. This way, you will probably have enough time to fill the treasure bar and then quickly go back to the fish before you lose it. But if you are trying to catch a difficult fish, you may want to ignore the treasure chest and focus on the fish. The chance of treasure chests appearing depends on daily luck, what tackle and buffs you're using, if you have the pirate profession, and if you have the special charm. They'll never appear during the Stardew Valley Fair or the Festival of Ice. Your daily luck and your fishing zone, which means the location you cast into, will increase the chance that more special items will appear in the treasure chest. Luck buffs allow better rings to appear and also increase the chance that stacks of items will double in size. Golden treasure chests can appear after claiming the fishing mastery, and usually provide more items than regular treasure chests. Each item in a golden treasure chest has a 50% chance to be one of a selection of more special items, for example an iridium bar or a pearl. There are 5 different fishing rods that you can use in Stardew Valley. The first is the bamboo pole, which you are given for free by Willy on day 2 of your playthrough. Then there is the training rod. This is available to buy from Willy's shop straight after you are given the bamboo pole. I recommend that everyone struggling with fishing gets the training rod, because this rod will increase the size of your fishing bar to the size it would be if you were level 5 fishing. The downside is you can only catch weak fish with it, but that is well worth it to have help with the fishing minigame early on. The third rod is called the fiberglass rod and is the first rod that you can use bait with. It will be unlocked to buy from Willy's shop the day after achieving fishing level 2. The fourth rod is the iridium rod, which allows you to use bait and 1 tackle. It is unlocked to buy at Willy's shop the day after achieving fishing level 6. And finally, there is the advanced iridium rod, which you get when you choose the fishing mastery. It is able to use bait and 2 tackles. Now let's talk about bait. You can only add bait to a fiberglass rod, an iridium rod, or an advanced iridium rod. I am going to add instructions for how to add the bait to your rod in the description because it is different depending on whether you are playing on PC, Xbox, PS4, Switch or mobile. Remember that every time you cast your line, a piece of bait is used. There are 7 types of bait. Firstly, there is the generic bait, which makes fish bite faster. You can get the recipe for this at fishing level 2 and then you will also be able to buy it from Willy's shop. Deluxe bait makes fish bite even faster and your fishing bar will increase in size. You can get this recipe at fishing level 4 and then you will also be able to buy it from Willy's shop. A magnet is a type of bait that gives you a greater chance to find treasure chests. Despite its description, it does not decrease the fish bite rate. You can get this recipe at fishing level 9 and then you will also be able to buy it from Willy's shop. Wild bait makes fish bite a little bit faster than normal bait and gives you the chance to catch 2 fish at once. If it is used in a crab pot, it decreases the chance of catching trash. You can get the recipe for wild bait from Linus's 4 hard event. Targeted bait increases your chance to catch the fish that you use to make the bait. It also works on crab pots and it gives you a reduced chance of catching trash in crab pots. You can make it by putting a fish in a bait maker, which you get the recipe for at fishing level 6. Challenge bait makes fish bite a little bit faster than normal bait, and if you get a perfect catch, you will get 3 fish. But Each time a fish escapes the fishing bar, the number of fish you catch is reduced. Fish will escape entirely if it leaves the bar 3 times. You can get the recipe for challenge bait after claiming the fishing mastery. Magic bait allows you to catch fish from any season, any time, and any weather. It does not change the location of the fish or the bite rate. You can buy this bait or the recipe for it from Mr. Key's Walnut Room. Next we'll talk about tackle. Only the iridium rod and the advanced iridium rod can use tackle. The iridium rod can have 1 tackle at a time, and the advanced rod can have 2. I'll put the instructions for how to add tackle to rods in the description. Tackle has a durability bar which decreases on use. When the bar reaches 0, the tackle will disappear. This takes 20 fish nibbles or hits, and the bar does not wear out when catching non-fish items like trash and algae. There are 10 types of tackle in Stardew Valley. First there is the lead bobber, which prevents the fishing bar from bouncing off the bottom. Then there is the trap bobber, which slows the decay of the progression bar or makes the fish escape slower. The spinner is a type of tackle which makes the fish bite quicker. The sonar bobber will show you what fish is on the line before it is caught. The recipes for all 4 of these tackles unlock at fishing level 6 and can then be bought from Willy as well. The cork bobber slightly increases the size of the fishing bar. The treasure hunter increases the chance of a treasure chest appearing, and it also stops the fishing progression bar from decaying while the treasure chest progression bar is increasing. Recipes for these 2 tackles unlock at fishing level 7, and they can also then be bought at Willy's shop. The dress spinner makes fish bite quicker than the normal spinner. The barbed hook makes the fishing bar cling to the fish, but this is most effective on easy fish who don't dart around much. Recipes for these 2 tackles unlock at fishing level 8 and can then also be bought from Willy's shop. The quality bobber increases the quality of the fish that you catch. You get the recipe from Willy after you complete his Juicy Bugs Wanted special order. The curiosity lure increases the chance for rare fish to bite. It can only be obtained randomly through breaking boxes and barrels in the quarry mine, the skull cavern, or the volcano dungeon. It can also be dropped by mummies and special monsters in the skull cavern. Finally, let's talk about food buffs. I have chosen what are, in my opinion, the best 3 meals for giving you fishing buffs. I have made these decisions based on the best effects, the easiest to get recipes, and the easiest to get ingredients. The first meal is chowder, which gives you +1 to your fishing skill for 16 minutes and 47 seconds real time. You get this recipe in the mail the day after getting Willy to 3+ hearts. You use 1 clam and 1 milk to make this recipe, which makes it a great early game recipe for helping you with your fishing. The second recipe is Dish of the Sea, which gives you +3 to your fishing skill for 5 minutes and 35 seconds real time. You only need 2 sardine and 1 hash brown to make this recipe that you get at fishing level 3. You are also given 3 Dish of the Sea for free for completing the special fish bundle at the community centre. I recommend you save those Dish of the Sea for catching the rarest and most difficult fish. The third recipe is called Seafoam Pudding. It gives you +4 to your fishing skill for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. This is the most powerful fishing buff in the game. You get this recipe at fishing level 9, and you need 1 flounder, 1 midnight carp, and 1 squid ink to make it. And that's all for this fishing video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing, and if you have any questions, I can answer them in the comments. Bye for now.